There's a dome boy, the intention is not to hurt you, it's to murk you if you go against me in the square circle. Let my hands do the talking, I let you do the verbal. Eat this knuckle sandwich that a Chico about to serve you. Better listen up, the other team been talking tough. DJ Tony grabbed the mic cause this dude will not shut up. Ain't no standing name count, but I think I've had enough. In the famous words of Jeff Houston, time to knuckle up. Bones to dome, it's time to knuckle up. Bones to dome, it's time to knuckle up. Take me up, I've been throwing uppercuts. Bones to dome podcast, turn me up. It's time to knuckle up. You know it. With DJ Tony, time to knuckle up. Jeff Houston, it's time to knuckle up. I am Vince Serrano.
It's all about you. It's how you knuckle up. It's about how you make yourself different from the rest.
It's time to knuckle up. It's time to knuckle up.
Yo, what's up, everybody? This is the one and only Bones to Domes, where you got me, your main man, DJ Tony, and my main man, Mr. Live Worldwide. How you doing, Jeff?
Are you kidding? If I would any better, once again, I've said this so many times, and I got to stop saying fucking once again. You know, I'm actually going to a speech therapist about trying to stop repeating certain phrases. For some reason, I've got this really bad habit of repeating shit over and over again. So anybody who knows me knows there's like 5 or 6 phrases that I use in almost every sentence. I guess it just means I'm dumb as fuck. What's going on, man?
Just chilling. Say what's up to a couple people in the chat real quick. What's up, Big Ben, like always? What's up, Falcon09? Our main man, Steve Lunay. If you need any garage work done in the Tampa Bay area or a limousine ride, make sure you hit up Steve. We got our main man, Absent Minded, Swervo Cuts. What's up? And yeah, so just hanging in there, man. Gonna talk about a little bit of Virginia prospects after our first guest. Talk a little about what I did this weekend, couple events I had, and go from there, buddy. I like that room, man. It's looking nice and fresh back there.
Yeah, it was about time that I started putting up some Bkfc posters. My 11x17s are looking real fresh up on the wall of Loudmouth Central. I mean, it's supposed to be Loudmouth Central, so they're supposed to be a little bit more. And as you can see behind me, just a few of the posters. I mean, I've got so many, but 12 frames at a time, it's going to take a little time to go ahead and put them next together for everything. But yeah, each one of these has a nice little symbolism for me. You know, each one of them reminds me of an interesting time at that particular show. And we're going to get some new ones put up there, but we're looking good, man. We're looking good. Had some fun over at the Bkfc Prospects Series in Virginia. First time over in Manassas. Tony, I really wish, I know, once again, you know, it's one of those things where I could say, I wish you were there. You know, I mean, we know about all that, but man, for so much shit went down on that. We're going to retouch on that, but I am going to go ahead, before we bring on our first guest, talk a little bit about the history that went down at the Bkfc Prospect Series. It was the debut of the 16-foot Bkfc squared circle. My goodness, let me tell you something. So many mixed reviews on that. They were talking about it on the Bare Knuckle show today with Brian Sosha, and I know that, you know, no matter what, anything you do is going to be subjective when it's on TV. Some people are going to like it. Some people are not going to like it. Personally, for me, Tony, I thought it was awesome because it's an awesome way for those who aren't familiar with bare knuckle fighting, but they want to toe the line with Bkfc for the first time in Prospect Series. It makes sense to cut their teeth in a smaller ring. In my opinion, it absolutely totally does. So for the smaller events, and also everybody, you know, we're not always going to do Bkfc events in big, huge, you know, 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 seat arenas. It's not going to always be like that. Yeah. For a proving ground, it needs to be a smaller proving ground. So that's why I like that we now have a ring that works with the smaller venues, and it looks awesome on TV. I mean, you saw the crowd there. We were standing room only. Definitely the smallest venue that we've been at since we've started. I will tell you that. The Salisbury Center is a small place, but man, was it badass. Second part of history for you, Tony. We debuted the very first female BKFC referee in company history, and
Nice.
that was a big deal. So all kinds of stuff happening on that. We'll definitely get into talking about the ring in a little bit, but like I said, like I said, there it is. That's number 2. Fuck.
You good?
No, I'm doing that thing again with the repeated phrases. I'm actually trying.
I was like, what?
I know, I'm probably freaking you out. I'm probably freaking out.
I thought you lost me again. I was like,
Andy Hall's joining us.
Yes, sir. What's up, Andy?
Andy did a great job for us.
All right.
FC Prospect Series. Slick Rick, what's going on? Everybody joining us for Bones to Domes. We're just doing just a little bit talking about the BKFC Prospect Series Virginia. We're going to get into that a little bit more, but working the grind. I know you are, man. I know you are. Andy, remember, I need that hoodie. I need that hoodie. Everybody's walking around with these BKFC fresh hoodies, except for yours truly, Mr. Live Worldwide. It is time to get me that. And it's an XL, sir. It's not going to be an XL forever, but as of right now, it is.
Andy, while you're watching, I do need, if you can put in, never mind. I'll message you after because I don't want to put the hint out there. I'll text you right now. But
now he's going to ask you what the fuck you want. You're teasing the nipples.
All right, Jeff. Let's go ahead and bring in. I'll let you do the honors of this superstar.
I'm gonna tell you something. This guy has been all over the board. He is a true journeyman as far as combat sports go. He's been in the ring. He's been in the cage. He has been with the World Wrestling Entertainment. He has just been across the board. He's a ridiculously likable person. I mean, he and I hit it off immediately and such. I think that's probably because I was a little bit of a mark. There was a little bit of marking off at the beginning, but he is such a cool cat, and he is going to be towing the line for us March the 2nd in Edmonton at the River Cree Resort Casino Hotel. So let's bring him in. Let's bring in Mr. Big Rig, Jeremiah Riggs.
What's up, man?
What's up, brother?
What's up,
my
guys?
buddy? There's my buddy. What's going on, Jeremiah? What's up, Big Rig?
Good. How y'all?
Shit.
Just chilling, big dog. It's been a great week so far. So, looking to have a, blessed rest of the week. How's everything over there? And actually, you're out here in Florida now. So
yeah. So I'm down here, Deerfield, South Florida, Deerfield Beach. We actually come down here. I've been here for a few weeks now, doing some training over at with these guys at Killcliff FC. Man, it's just a bunch of sharks in the water out here. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you name a world champion, and they've got them.
I can see that, especially in that area, man. I mean, it's ideal for trading. It's ideal for lifestyle. I mean, it's got a little bit of everything in that particular area, and you're not quite in Miami.
Right. Not far though. Not far.
Yeah, I know it's not far, but it's still not the madness that is fucking Miami. And let me tell you about that, man. That's some crazy shit. But, man, I'm going to tell you what. First things first, I just want to find out, man, how has the overall – we've touched base on it a little bit, but I want everybody who's watching to find out the overall injury rehabilitation. You're back in the ring, you're 100% and everything. How did that all go, brother?
It went great, for everybody that knows or don't know, last BKFC event, unfortunately, it was just a fluke deal. Had some people ask me about my knee. I tore my ACL. It wasn't an injury pre fight or camp. I ain't never had no problems. It was just, I don't know. It was just kind of one of them weird things that happened, unfortunately. But as far as, recovery, man, I mean, it went great. One of the doctors had told me, he said, man, the fastest injury I did seen was Adrian Peterson in 4 months. I said, well, I'll do it in 5. I said, but if I had his money, I probably wouldn't be sitting in here with you. But no, for real. So I got with some guys around my hometown, Elite Performance. a best friend of mine that was really younger than me, Michael Busby, did some physical therapy for me, and it was all about just setting the tone and setting the pace. I mean, literally, if anybody knows anything about knee surgeries, I did a surgery on like a Tuesday. My first day of physical therapy was like that Thursday. I want to say Friday, but I'm pretty much sure it was like a Thursday. And first thing they do is try to get the bend in it. And man, I went past 90 degrees. It was actually 93 degrees. I told all of them at first, right? You know, when they relaxed, I said, 1 more degree, somebody's fixing to be a motherfucker in here. So it was excruciating. You know, I ain't never had, you know, fortunately, in just all the career sporting events that I've been through, as you mentioned, UFC, Bellator, Strikeforce, WWE, professional bull riding, Bkfc, just, I mean, a lot of training, Ranger Battalion, of course. I mean, I've been all over the world. I've been fortunate enough to stay as healthy as I've been. So, you know, it could have been, it was just, you know, probably years of training, abuse, just things your body just goes through. But as far as now, so after that, going into it, I'd had a surgery that July. By actually in August, I had already had started moving. I had gotten over to Monroe with Quentin Henry, which y'all aware of, you know, and I did some just slow movement, just forward and backwards, really nothing crazy. So it was a really good, quick. A lot of people know me say, man, don't push it. I didn't push it. I just pushed it to the envelope of recovery, doing what I needed to do, and going surpassed what you got to be. You know, you just got to grind it out. I actually, after that, I was really trying to get back on the scene pretty soon. So then after that following March, which would have been last year, I was fortunate enough with David Feldman and let me do a pro boxing, my pro boxing debut, which was really something that I'm very thankful for, to do that, because it just, you know, get the rust off, get me back in the competition, get me back in a ring, just to really fill it out. And that went good. I won a split decision on that, and then from there on, it just dictated like, okay, you know, I was ready, but still had a good bit of work to do, and then following along this year, it's just been staying on the grind to get back in, to toe the line with, you know, Bkfc. So as far as that goes, man, I put a lot of training in, been with a lot of different training partners, and gyms to just really push that pace, to know, like, all right, you know, you're ready. You know, you don't, you know, towing that line, it ain't 50%, it ain't 80, you got to be 100%. And knowing that, you know, fortunately, it just worked out great for me to have that time frame. As much as, even as antsy as I was getting, as hey man, I want to be in there. It just worked out great, and man, I can't ask for a better company to be with, a group of guys like yourself, the support, and that keeps you going. I mean, even when you say, you know, sitting on the shelf, you know, it was for a reason. You know, I'm big on timing. I'm big on the universe just trying to just give it to me. And, you know, so I just sat back and I just said, look, I'm going to follow the path that I'm on. And when the call comes, I'll be ready.
And you were ready with that. But, you know, the one thing that if there is a silver lining to any kind of cloud when it comes to these kinds of injuries, you've got to be blessed about the fact that you are with Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship and a bare knuckle fighting platform, because if this was an MMA platform, you know, I hate to say it, but, you know, opponents will target those areas, will target those areas. They will target the injured areas, and they'll take full advantage of that. when it comes to MMA, when it comes to grappling and such. You know, they're not stupid. They know that there's a target on that injury, so it must feel good that there is no target on your injury coming into these kind of fights.
No, it really did. So even going into it, I had talked with Nate Shook and the matchmakers in my injury. With the biggest thing with even the release was, hey, can I was prior to this earlier, hey, can I wear a brace? And of course they were like, oh, absolutely. So going into that, it really made me feel better because I started getting back into the grappling scene just to really the flexibility, the cardio, and then while you're sitting there waiting, hey, why not? And I do know that you're absolutely right. So I'm walking away from, just say out of the MMA scene. Yeah, because I ain't gonna lie, man, the last thing I want to be doing is checking leg kicks or taking some punishment in that. You get with the right opponent, you're going to have to deal with that aspect of that game. And with bare knuckle, I mean it's all stand up. So it lowers, very much lowers the risk of that, and it helps the recovery process.
Definitely don't have to worry about catching any sharpshooters in Canada while you're out there. So your knees should be all right.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. And
no
like
no hitmans out there.
Yeah, no. So it's changed the path of the course for combat sports for me. Even in just the whole realm of having something now that dictates, not, hey, being very, very treading very, very, very thin water in a comeback, because I do know, yeah, coming back into an MMA scene, it would be very tough. I'm not gonna lie, the wrestling, just all the aspects of it, but not saying it was an easy recovery, because the movements, my fighting style, lowering your levels. I mean, I really had to still adapt to them things of getting better for the sport of bare knuckle.
It was definitely one of those, just freak accidents that just happened out of nowhere. I see it a lot. You see it a lot in the NFL or in football. Players coming out of their cut to go for a pass, not even touched or anything, and just automatically just go down. Their knees, just go out.
Well, you don't always fall right. You know what? You don't always fall right. You don't always step right. It's one of those things that those freak accidents happen that it just, I don't know. It's just one of those things that you don't even think about it till it actually happens.
Yeah, even going into just say prior to the injury, that was my first really, cutting down to the 165, which was a good cut. I had a lot of a few coaches, a few friends, worried about like, man, what about that cut? It sucks. Any cut sucks. I mean, it don't have to be 10 pounds. It could be 5 pounds. It all sucks. So the question of, man, I think you cut too much water or whatever. And to me, I knew. I was like, no, it wasn't none of that. It wasn't nothing that, I cut too much weight or I pulled too much water off my body. It was probably already on its way. It just, in that fight, in that step and moment. I mean, I watched the video. I was showing someone the video just 2 days ago. Like, man, what happened? I was like, here, I got it. And I was like, wow. It just happens. But I don't look at things like that in this or anything in my life. You still got to bring the positive things out of something. Hey, what's next? What can I do? It didn't set me back. It only should make you better. Makes you more aware, and then you just, hey, you strengthen them aspects up in the game, and you just, if you want to say start from scratch, ain't no one starting from scratch. It's just, hey, just taking care of a different source of an injury. And that's rare. It's not like it's ending the career or, hey, I'm done. That never crossed my mind. It was just, okay, look, this is the path. This is the road I'm on. what are you gonna do? How bad do you want it? What you gonna do about it? And in them things, people, it's all mindset. You got to take it full fledged. There's no losses. You just got to learn. You just got to learn to overcome.
There are no losses. There are lessons. You're exactly right about that, man. But I have my question to you is, you are a very unique individual coming into BKFC because of the fact that you've been across the board. Not all of our fighters coming into BKFC have had those opportunities to be across the board in combat sports. Now, with all the experiences that you've had, with all the different promotions that you've had, and all the different sports that you've represented, which one of them all, and you can be honest, I mean, you can be 100% honest to me, brother, which one felt like this was tailor-made for me? This is where I belong. And I know that's a big question out of all of them, but which one was the glove fit?
Taking the gloves off. It really changed the whole dynamic. When me and Alan, of course, one of my main training partner, Alan Belcher, whenever we started this, I remember the phone call like it was yesterday. We got on it, and I just, the whole vibe of everything, it was like, you know what, this is a total whole dimension. But when you talk about guys built for it, I mean, there's a very small percentage of guys that are say, yeah, this is me. And some of them find it, and some of them don't. Some of them don't. For me, it was just a total reincarnation of me being in the combat sports, finishing out or sealing that legacy of all the things I've done. I mean, I've done it all. I mean, you can pull the resume up. There's not promotion or anywhere I haven't been or haven't had some experience in. And in going into this after the very first fight, I knew then, hey guys, this is if this was earlier, and I don't look at things like, oh, I wish it was earlier. No, it's now, and this is what will solidify me in the combat sports field of what I'm doing, and it just puts a stamp on it. It really does. With them gloves off, and it's just going back in, even going to the pro boxing. After that, a friend of mine was like, "Hey man, what do you think about it?" And I was like, "Get these fucking gloves off, man."
Yeah, I like that. I like that. Now, for those of the guys who are with us, we got hardcore BKFC fans. So a lot of them remember your exploits this far with BKFC. Yes, now, the one thing that I can say, you had to have learned a plethora of information as far as bare knuckle fighting, the pace and such, with, in my opinion, one of your most memorable fights ever, and that was against Connor Tierney. You were in there with somebody who is laser specific on his strikes, and having that kind of a dog fight in you, which 100% everybody just absolutely loved that fight. Win, lose, or draw, it was a dog fight. And coming up against somebody who has that kind of laser focus with their striking abilities, you had to have learned so much about yourself as a bare knuckle fighter, and what you were going to expect moving forward with BKFC. That had to have been a hell of a learning experience.
Man, that changed a whole perspectives and everything you're saying. I can remember that just 7 days notice, and it really wasn't even a thought. I just watched a quick video on Connor when I first knew about this, and the thing with me was, man, this is it. This is you find what you're looking for, and that was exactly what I was looking for. The fight with Tierney, he totally changed everything for me. The learning experience with somebody, the footwork, that was, in an instance, a true super sharp boxer footwork. I mean, I'll be honest with you, you don't get no better than that to me. And I've seen them all. But to take his style in my style and collaborated. We both were battling. It was a lot more than just a fight in the styles and knowing, the short notice. It just came together, and to see, just say, your true boxer versus, say, a true brawler. Of course, my background was MMA, whatever. That I've learned, that changed my whole realm of fighting in someone that class with that skill. But it also, like I said, there was no, when we stepped out of that ring. Even when the hands were raised or dropped or whatever, there was no. I took that full chin high. I knew then when I walked out. I raised my hand. I'm never raising my hands
I
to
remember
the
that.
crowd when I walked out, and everybody just went nuts. And I knew that was a win. We even talked about, me and Connor. We become pretty cool after that. Like, I knew that moment was like this. This opened up. It was just opened up a whole different world. I learned more in that one fight, probably in just say my whole career. It's almost, I don't even have the words to say exactly. I mean, I could pinpoint it. We could talk all night about, hey, what'd you learn? What didn't you learn? But there was no doubt in my mind that solidified my spot in BKFC. It solidified my training. It put everything as a purpose in how we put a camp together, how we train the punches, the different movements. I mean, it's a very people don't realize this. It's not a street fight. This is, you can compare it to it, but look, I've been in a lot of them growing up. So even going into that, I knew the hits. I never was worried about like man, is this how different is this? And to me, it felt right at home. And then going with somebody of that caliber, it really put me up here in my eyes of going, hey man, there's not anybody in the world that I can't stand toe to toe with, and actually be very, very dangerous. Fighting someone like Tierney, I mean, it did. I mean, I believe it worked both ways. I promise you, even after our fight, you watch Tierney now. I believe that changed his game as well as it changed mine, 100%.
I would agree with that. You, Tony?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like you said, BKFC saw a superstar in you, which is why I would assume that they gave you, 3 fights in your first 6 months in BKFC, which is crazy in itself. I mean, your first 2 fights were within, like a month and a half of each other.
Yep.
And then you turn around and get that, that third fight where you did get injured in June. So right in the first 6 months of the year, you went out there and had 6 fights. I mean, you could have had, 3 fights. You could have messed around and had 5 fights in that first year.
Yeah, and that was one of the things I was aiming. I knew because of course this is in my goal with this was like, and I understood it as far as, and I know you will, Jeff, and yourself will know this. 10 fights. You start. I think in that 5th fight or go moving on to that, you'd really just start figuring it out. Some might figure it out a little bit more, but I really don't. I don't really think that until you. My goal was, hey, 10 fights in, you should really be at really superseding your expectations. Really like change. I mean, your level of fight experience, because you can train for it, but you really can't. There's not. You don't spar bare knuckle. You don't.
Yeah.
I mean, the sparring. I mean, our sparring. I mean, we're with gloves, or you can lower it down to some MMA training gloves, but it's still. I mean, you ain't going out there and you're not
going out there full range.
Yeah, you're not going in the fucking yard going, hey, let's
is
do
the
this.
worst thing you can do. Unfortunately, as you know, taking the time off the fights, that's the worst thing that you could do, because true fight shape is for those who are training and fighting. I mean, there's no substitute for that experience out there fighting.
No, there's nothing. You can't. It's hard. People ask me questions all the time about bare knuckle. Hey, what does it feel like? What does it do? And it's. I mean, I can I can really dictate, like, hey, I can make an example, but unless you just, hey, stand there and let me whack you, there's really no, it just supersedes any expectation of what you think. And then when you start putting levels to this game, it really breaks someone in or out of the whole round. It really does. I mean, you can take someone that's really high level at in any sport. UFC, I mean, you see the crossovers that we're starting to get now. And I say this, even watching or listening or to you guys, different fighters or different kind of things, spectrums of how they're, hey, we want this guy. We'd love to see this guy. Honestly, I don't see a lot of you will see it, I believe, later. We're growing. We are the fastest growing sport in the world. You'll see some crossovers, but even to some of the greatest, they don't want the smoke. They're like, man, you guys are crazy. Fuck that, and I get it, and I do get it for some of even the high level of guys. You can just say the UFC guys, the professional boxer guys. I mean, there's still a minute a barrier there that where some people just can't fathom it.
Well, look at the people who have come in. I mean, you have to look at that. I mean, the funny thing about it is that it's the fighter in you that takes you to that next echelon. We've had so many boxers. We've had so many UFC fighters that have come in, and it wasn't for them because the pacing's different, the fighting's different. Every dynamic when it comes to bare knuckle fighting as opposed to other combat sports is not what you would expect coming in. So only a very select few have gone on to big success with us in BKFC because they were good fighters to begin with, but maybe they didn't necessarily have the platform that they were made for. They found moderate to good success in MMA or boxing, but they get to be world champions here because this is where they truly belong. So knowing that, I think that puts you ahead of a lot of the other ones because of the fact you've covered that spectrum and you found a place where the dog in the fight can be successful.
Yeah, and it's a different dog. It really is. I mean, everybody says you gotta have that dog in you, but there's a lot of different dogs. There's a lot of different species out here, and when you get to this kind of level, and I'm gonna say that because this is on a whole nother level of fighting. Of structure, of skill, of technique. It's a beautiful thing to me to watch people put it together and myself put it together because the techniques, I mean, are so different. You can't, the covering up. I mean, even me right here, you're punching through every, there's a target everywhere. Even with the MMA gloves, there's still restrictions on them gloves getting through of the blunt. I say the blunt force with that glove versus without that glove. I mean, you're talking about changing. I mean, you're changing everything about it. I mean, it's really true. You're sometimes can be one punch away from a win or a loss. And even because you get into the cuts or the eyes, you can tell too. I mean, you can take a lot of guys can take a punch. Don't get me wrong, I can too. But there is a time in bare knuckle where the shit just hurts, and you can see it. I can tell now. I see some of the guys that get hit, and I tell guys, hey. You can usually tell, like, man, he's probably not gonna get up, but he's probably hurt, and this is what I mean by that. You take a hit, like you see it all the time in BKFC. The guys get hit in the corner of the eyes or whatever. You get 10 seconds, but sometimes it'd be almost having like 2 more seconds and they're fine. Yeah. And I'm like, I totally get that. That 10 seconds of just shaking that shit off. That it's almost kind of like hitting your head, where you hold something and it kind of makes it feel better. I can tell, like, guys, like he's okay, but he's hurt, and it's going to take more than that 10 seconds to recover. So if you think about that, really, really think about that, I promise you, you can rewind videos to them fights of where, man, that didn't look that bad, but it was really that bad for more than that 10 seconds.
Yeah, but you're an art, but dude, you're a former Ranger, so hurt is a completely different prospect to you. I mean, you know, you want to go back to, you know, Ranger wise, are you hurt or are you injured?
Are you? That's correct. And be honest with you, in the bare knuckle game, there are times where you just got to fight through it. You know, you really got to really dig down deep and just, that's that dog. You really got to dig down deep. I think it can happen to any of us in a realm. I mean, you know, I think you can take the top someone in our sport. You know, the right hit. You're gonna need more than that 10 seconds to rub that shit off.
It's like my mom used to say when I was a kid. She used to be like, "Are you bleeding? No? Get your ass up then. You're all right."
Get your mom right there.
Get your ass up, boy.
Even if you were bleeding, they take
Yeah, I am bleeding. Oh, that's just a little scratch. Get out of here. Get your ass up.
The way I grew up, you just rub some dirt on it.
Or you get a garden hose, just wash the blood out of your hair and get back out there.
So my mom, just wash it off. You'll be all right.
Well, you got to remember, guys, we grew up in the area to where there had to be a commercial that was put on for the parents. It's 10 o'clock. Do you know where the children are? That was put out there because some parents didn't know where the fuck they were. They're like, oh shit, we got to bring them in.
Well, and then you see that, and that brings, and that's another thing you see, say guys like myself, I mean, the OGs, you know, whoever that is, it's a different, it's a mindset. It really is a different mindset. And one thing about it is, in this sport, you are very, very likely to taste that canvas and or take a knee. I promise you. Everybody, the best. I mean, name who, the pound for pound, whatever. They've tasted that canvas. And what I do like about this is sometimes being super tough ain't tough enough. You know, one thing that I do like it, you know, because you see guys, I'll watch these fights, and there's only one way. There's only one way to just say to really protect yourself from when the shark's eating your ass. And people don't want to do it. I think I don't know if it's a pride thing or whatever. I don't have that, but you do have an option. You can take that knee.
Take the knee, yeah.
And what I don't like to see is guys not give themselves a chance, be too prideful or whatever the hell it is. Hey man, take the fucking knee, because that, you know, it's not like you're weak or whatever. You can't. Yeah, you still got 10 seconds.
Take the knee instead of having the referee having to split you apart and call it.
And then guess what? Then you're over there going, oh man, what could I have done? You could have just took the damn knee and protected yourself, recollect your shit, get out there and keep fighting.
Well, no, this fight just came up. I got a little insight from your management team, good old Jackson Wink, and they said they actually, supposedly you had a fight set up originally for March coming up, March 15th. But, you know, that fighter, I'm not going to name, decided they didn't want to fight Riggs.
Yeah.
They were scared.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal. I mean, dude, I'm not going to blame, you know, I was super pumped. I was sitting there like, hell yeah. I mean, top guy. I mean, you know, I'm a very respectful guy in this sport. You know, I'm not boastful or whatever. I was really bummed out because I was like, dang. But I'm not here to, you know, I'm here to do my job. I'm here to be loyal to Bkfc. And speaking of that, you know, because, you know, Jackson Wink, shout out to him. You know, we prior to signing with them, you know, I talked with them, and I just knew it was a good move. You know, it's a good management move. Them guys have been really great, but you gotta stay on ready. And when the call comes, I tell these guys, it don't matter the opponent. Take the fights. You don't ever know. I mean, you should know the outcome, but I mean, if you're scared, I mean, I don't know, go to church. But I was really bummed out that I was like, dang, I hated that. But you know, like I said, you know, I just kept on the move. I just kept the faith. I kept believing. And hey, man, you know, I'm not doing something for nothing. Something's going to come out of this. And then that's why I said, you know, you saw my post
Yep.
on my opponent, Scotty Smith. Hey, man, I appreciate the opportunity given, and I appreciate the kudos, man. Thank you for that. You know, because at the end of the day, that says a lot to me too. You know, it really does, and it says a lot for me when the guy's like, man, I don't know about that guy. I don't want to fight that guy, and that's respect. You know, but I in respective talks, you know, man, I respect everybody, man. You know, I'm not the one to really talk it. I'd rather show it. But you know, I mean, a lot of people know the name of myself, but they know what I'm gonna bring. You know, they know. You know, you toe the line. Hey, man, I'm here to do my job. I'm gonna do it the 100%. You ain't, you know, you're gonna get all of me and then some.
Well, how does
There it
welterweight
is.
feel for you? Yeah, we got Sonny Smith coming up March the 2nd, welterweight bout. Going into the
Welterweight.
welterweight bout, how do you feel about fighting at 165?
I feel great, you know. So I've constructed myself, and you know, weight classes are very important. Of course, you know, going into that, you know, I was even at the call. I was like, man, 175, 165. Man, there's guy, man, 185. You know, it really didn't matter to me, but change it. I changed my whole dynamics, you know, of my body, of my structure. I've kind of gotten away from, you know, and Jeff, you know, as far as prior to my career,
Mm-hmm.
I was a lot bigger guy. A lot of people that don't know me from back
Oh,
then, you know, I was walking around, you know, 205. The biggest I've ever walked around was 213.
mm-hmm.
I was fighting middleweight and some light heavyweight guys in my MMA career. Restructuring of who I am and what I did, it really, it was just a whole different vibe for me. I really like the weight class because it's stacked. I mean, you're talking about the best. I mean, we every weight class is dangerous. At 165, shit. I mean, everybody can be dangerous, and that's a really tough weight class.
Look who's the champ. Look
Yeah,
who's the,
I
now,
love it.
yeah, look who's the champ now at 165. We got
Yeah,
Austin Trout, who's at the, you know, he's the current welterweight world champ at 165. You know, taken away from probably the best fighter that we've ever had in the history of BKFC. And a lot of people thought it was, you know, kind of on a technicality or such, but it was just his night. Just like you were saying, anybody, one punch, one movement, one head movement, one good footwork game, any of that, and
it changes.
the entire fight is completely changed.
It changes everything. I mean, when you, especially, you know, you get these boxers, and hey, I'm not going to take nothing away from anybody's style because styles do make fights.
Fuck yeah.
Styles make fights, and BKFC is still the same. You're stylistically makes a fight. You can have bad styles they're two really good people, and you're kind of like, that wasn't what I thought. The styles sometimes just don't mix, but when they do mix, I mean, I always go back to the Tierney Riggs fight. You know, I really do. Them two, when we clashed together, you could really see different dynamics of where my style could almost overshadow that, and then you had his style, which, you know, you give someone like me some troubles, but it went both ways. And with that, even on a personal level, me in that fight, you battling so much, even more than the style. But that's the beautiful thing about our sport right now is you can take anybody from any style, and it just makes into this beautiful thing, stylistically.
Mm-hmm.
Now, did you watch this past weekend's fights in Virginia?
I did. That was it. Was I thought it was good. Of course, I know y'all talked about the 16. You know, the different ring.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to bring up. So on the BKFC show today with Brian Sosha, he mentioned that from now on at the fight nights and the prospect cards, that's the ring that they're going to be using. So
Yeah,
that would be the ring that you'll be using for Canada. So how do you feel about going from the 16? I mean, from the 22 to the 16?
man. I don't think that it's gonna. It's not gonna. To me, it's not gonna. I don't believe it's gonna be a big. It's a big change in movement. For me, I don't think that it's going to like really dictate my style. You know, you still do have a good amount of room to move. Now, you're talking about if you think about dimensions, that's 5 foot circumference
Yeah.
going in. So you do have you are in a tighter area.
Mhm.
I'm not against it. The only thing, I made a comment on it. Was on Facebook or something. If someone was asking, I think it was Russ and them was asking about, hey, what does everybody think about it? And I said, I think it's a good move, especially in a prospect setting, but for a beginner, like Jeff said earlier. And here's the thing that it does. I mean, it does bring you in tighter. You don't have a lot of room to say run or move around. Now, it will change some people's styles.
Yeah.
Fuck,
You damn right it will.
does.
Someone that really
The
really has
boxers.
a technical movement, the footwork. Now you're bringing 5 foot in, so now your movements get tighter. Just say for someone like me, hey, I mean that's great, but I really believe in my um, experience, it's a very smart, strategical move for the company in starting something like the prospect series because it gives the new guys or the up and comers that someone no experience. Um, it's gonna put them in that. And what I think that should happen, you take that, you use it in that prospect, but then you have the 22-foot ring, just say on the, and I'm gonna say the numbered cards,
Yeah,
right?
number. Yep.
That's right. So when to me, it's great because it's a graduation. You graduate, and it's almost like you're going from here and into the big stage. Now, I'm not saying that it's not bringing no guys like me down a level, not at all.
No.
But it's very good. It's very unique to be able to step in that smaller setting to show, because this is the way I look at it. Bringing in someone like me, we're going to a different ring. Hey, that's great. Same ring, same fight. It don't. It's We're still going to do our job. It's still a bare knuckle fight. Now you might have shortened it up, but it can also show. What I want to show is to the younger guys is saying, hey, adapt. You got to be able to adapt.
Yes.
You
That should
got to.
that should be the mindset of anybody going into any ring. I mean, absolutely. I mean, you know that you've got this kind of square footage to work with now. Well, guess what? Adapt. Adapt your footwork. Adapt your training. Adapt it to where you know what you're going to be fighting inside of. And guess what? You spend that time ahead of time so that you don't have to adapt at the very last second. It increases the possibility of getting a W by that much more.
And when you adapt, you overcome.
Damn right.
And for
Damn
the
right.
people, like this is going to be more for. I mean, yeah, we'll have like the co-mains and the main events of mostly of BKFC fighters, bigger names. But most of the people that are fighting on these cards haven't fought in the big ring anyways, so they don't know any difference anyways. And
Right.
that's what I was going to bring up with you. It's kind of I'm not going to say it's a good thing that you've been off for almost 2 years, but it's not going to be any difference to you because you've been gone for so long. You stepping into that 16 is going to kind of just be nothing.
It took for me going into that. It's not going to be any different because I know I'm adaptable. One, and then two, you're going to toe the line. Hey, that fucking line didn't change.
Yeah.
You're still starting from the scratch. So it's really, how big of a change is it? I mean,
That's what I was. I didn't even think about
Oh,
that.
you're towing the line.
Are the lines? Is the line size the same, Jeff?
No.
It's closer together.
Yes.
No.
No,
Well,
it's the line on the mat don't change. The scratch
No.
line.
It's still 3 feet. It's still 3 feet. It's still 3 feet because I thought about that when I saw it because I was there, and when I was seeing them toe the line and such, the illusion of the lines being closer was just there because the ring was smaller.
It's
that's what it was. That's what it was.
And that's all it is. It's a fucking illusion up here. Some guys are probably putting in their mind like, oh my God, it's 16. I didn't. I was like, hey, it's 16 foot. It's very good strategy for the BKFC on bringing up comers. And that's the whole point of what we're talking about.
Whole point.
Overcome.
But let's go ahead and put something out there for some of you guys. You know, I've been seeing some posts in our main event. I saw people saying, "Man, Stanislav Grosu, and they should get a contract." I'm like, they're not part of that. They're not part of that. These are proven entities with BKFC to help us put the cards over. And I'm glad that the ones that have come here this far have not seen that as a demotion. You see,
because
some of them would actually see that as a demotion heading up the main event on the Prospect Series, when in fact, I think what you're doing is that you are providing a blueprint to those who want to, follow in your footsteps as a BKFC tenured fighter.
Yeah, I want to make that a little clearer for some people too. I mean, it's an honor to be able to fight on a Prospect Series to me, because now you have everybody, say some guys, just say guys, oh man, that's, Jeremiah's coming, just let's just say that, hey man, I'm here to set the example for others to follow. I'm here to help the guys learn and overcome the adaptation and say, hey man, it's still fighting. It's still bare knuckle boxing. It don't dictate the lower level. I mean, you should actually be excited to be able to be on a main card. Hey, okay, it's not BKFC 58 or whatever. It's not Knuckle Mania. Who cares? Yeah. Carry on the example that you want to set in the sport, because this is what I want to tell everybody. You're not entitled to a fucking thing. Okay? I'm not entitled to shit. Coming on to these conversations with management and setting these fights up, I make it so easy for the staff of y'all of going, hey, the only thing I'm entitled to is to get on that fucking line and do my job. Other than that, all the bells and whistles, hey man, I think I teach my guys this. You're nobody. Even if you're somebody, you're nobody. Don't act like there's an entitlement to it. And honestly, if you ain't got that fucking strap wrapped around you, you should be more aware of the situation of, hey, that's the guy I want to be. I mean, I'll bring you Lorenzo Hunt, Alan Belcher, Lewis, follow me. These guys that have these belts, that's where you want to be. You're not, and then not them guys ain't. I don't think they feel some fucking way of being entitled. But until you have that strap, then maybe the entitlement comes. But if you're not the champ, you're not entitled to do nothing but train and do what you're asked to do, and do it 100% to the best of your ability to show this company, I'm here, I got your back, I'm loyal, and I'm gonna do my job to the fucking bitter end. And that's why I mean, for me, that says a lot about yourself. They call me, hey man, we can save some money. I'll ride in the luggage bag. I don't care. You don't have to. I don't care about what plane I'm on or where I'm flying out. I mean, literally, prior conversation, even on this, and I'll tell you straight up, they calling me, was like, flying out of this. I was like, look, and this is real talk. I'm gonna drive 4 hours to go to an airport to help the company make this happen. Did I have to do that? No, but hey, guys, whatever I got to do
Stepping up
to help this company and help myself, whatever I need to do, that's what we're gonna do. You gotta be a soldier. You gotta be a soldier to the game. You gotta be the gladiator that you are. You have to have them little step ups, short notice or not, because there's one thing I do know. You've got to stay ready at all times, champion or not. You got to be ready for that call. And if you're not, then where's the entitlement? You're not shit. I mean, that's what I tell to my guys I'm training. It's like, look, dude, I know a lot of motherfuckers in this game. They are somebody. Even if you say, well, you're somebody. No, I'm here to do my job. There's no entitlement other than the entitlement of doing my job. That's it.
I dig that, Tony, man. I dig that, man. The funny thing about it is that, everybody says, be humble, be humble, be humble. Well, there's also times to be humble and not to be. There are times that, you have to be humble at the appropriate times. I definitely that, but you can't be humble 100% of the time. There are times that, you're a human being, and it's not necessarily an ego thing. It's a feel thing. It's how you feel something through. It's how you feel a situation through. And that entitlement works for some people, but unfortunately it can backfire massively. Unfortunately, if I'm thinking about it and I have nothing but respect to say to this individual, but unfortunately a little bit of entitlement backfired on him, and that's our boy Luis Palomino. And the reason why it did is because Luis decided after his last, I think it was either his fight before the last fight, he said, I'm not going to be stepping in here until I get top competition, until I get the money and the competition that I'm looking for. And I understand where he's coming from, but I also know that there are venues to say that and venues not to say that. I wasn't a big fan of him saying that to all the paying customers that came to see him and all that good stuff. And unfortunately, he did get that higher competition and it backfired.
Well, the thing about it with me,
not massively. I mean, he wasn't smoked. He wasn't smoked. It was not a dominating situation. It was razor thin. It was a razor thin situation, but it did backfire in a minor degree. It did,
because you still have to uphold what you are and what you want to be in this. I mean, you still have the entitlement to yourself, and I get that. Hey, I want the bigger. Hey, who don't? But honestly, when you're put in that position, everybody's gunning for you. Everybody is competition. Everybody is competition. Yeah. So if you're the champion, to me, you should take all comers, because if you really true you're the best, what's the entitlement? Where's the entitlement come from? I need bigger fights. I want the money fights. To me, that's an illusion. Because for me, it's not about the money. Hey, don't get me wrong. It is, because in this generation, in this world, you got to eat. But I promise you one thing. Jeremiah Riggs ain't going fucking hungry, bro. So my entitlement is not that. And I'm not giving get the strap around me. Anybody that wants it, come take it. And it's not because I promise you this, with our matchmakers, they're doing their best to make styles match the fights. And if you're the champion, why would you even pick such opponents? Because you want more money? Earn it. Get out there and get it. Keep beating their ass and proving you're the best. You're the best. You're the best.
Which he was.
Solidified.
I will give him credit, which he was.
He
was undefeated coming into that. He was 9-0. He was, everybody who stepped up, he found a way. Okay. Every time he stepped up, he found a way. But I just think that when you find yourself in a situation to where you're truly drinking all of the Kool-Aid, something gets lost in translation. Now the funny thing is that as of right now, does not translate over to our current pound for pound Lorenzo Hunt.
For sure.
Because
I promise
Lorenzo
you
is a
this.
completely different person, because he's a completely different person.
I promise you this.
Oh, here's right when he was about to say Lorenzo's name.
I know. There we go.
Here we go. Look,
I promise you, you went to black. I promise you, you went to black.
Yeah. Hey, Black, look, I promise you this. You call fucking Lorenzo right now. Anybody that wants to fight Lorenzo, he don't care. He's not. I've had a really, I've had a pretty good response with Lorenzo. We're cool. I respect him for what he's done and what he's doing. But I promise you, he don't care who wants to fight him. If you want it, come try to take it from me. And with that attitude, motherfucker, I salute
the way it is. I mean, in the end, he doesn't have to beat him. You have to beat him.
Exactly. And a true, hey, that to me is stepping up and being a true champion. I'm trying to think of the boxer's name. It is old box, but anyways, went around the world. Anybody that gosh damn, I wish I could think of who I'm thinking about. But anybody that wanted it, he wanted to prove that he was the best, and it didn't matter who if you put that person in front of them, they're in for a fight. They're in for a fight, and I do salute Lorenzo for that attitude, for that structure, and for that mindset, because he wants to prove he is the best, and it don't matter. I promise you, they call him, hey, Lorenzo, you're going to fight so-and-so at heavyweight. Okay. Hey, Lorenzo, you're going to fight so-and-so at 205, 185. Okay. I promise you, he's not sitting there with a list, looking at a list going, there's 3 guys. I bet you your ass, Lorenzo Hunt will say, line all 3 of them up.
It consists of 1. His list as of right now, I mean, he'll take it. He will always take it. But as far as his eye and his focus is on being a 3C champ. That's his focus right now. His focus is on the heavyweight champion. So does he have a destination? Absolutely. Sure. But if there are people that come within his, target as he's on that journey, is he going to bitch and complain? He's just saying that's another person standing in the way of my view of my destination.
It's another notch on his belt, and you got to think then that's real, true champion shit.
Mindset. It is. It's champion mindset. It is.
I promise you, Jackson Wink or whoever, Nate Shook, David Feldman, Jeff Houston, DJ Tony, they call me, hey Riggs, this date, this opponent, are you interested? Look, here's a very good text message. When I got for the opponent on the 15th, like I said, whatever. Are you interested? Send the fucking contract.
Yeah.
Send it. It don't matter what I think, because then what? I'm entitled to go, well, man, fuck that. Let's do this. Give me whoever. And everybody in the rankings, everybody in the system, the boss man himself know, hey man, it's whatever it is, because to be the best, you got to beat the best, but you have to still beat whoever is lined up in front of you. You got to be ready at all times. Anybody, any opponent, anywhere, anytime, let's go.
I definitely appreciate,
won't they, Tony? The true fans will recognize the one who is not cherry picking.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say I definitely appreciate fighters with that mindset, just like you, and also just you always, even though you've been injured, you still been showing up to all these events, doing what you need to do on the outside of the ring, whether it's whatever, trying to grow your social media or just fan base wise, just being there. Always, I'm not gonna say like in trying to get a fight, because obviously we're still injured. But just letting everyone know, letting Nate know, letting senior, junior, everyone know, hey, I'm here. I'm here to stay. I'm here. You guys are going to see me no matter what.
I'm here to support. I mean, look, the Albuquerque show, I drove from Mississippi, got in my van, fucking, hey guys, I'm coming. Nate and them, they looked back, they were like, oh shit, I didn't even know you were coming. Hey man, I'm here to support you guys. And you've heard me, Jeff, and you've heard me, DJ. Hey man, is there anything I can do? I'll roll up a fucking extension cord. I'll go in the back. I remember one setting, I believe it was in Monroe. Talking. We had the commission back there. Anybody got anything to say? I stepped up and I said, "Hey guys, listen. Do your job. Don't give these guys trouble. If you give these guys trouble, I'm gonna give you trouble. Don't." Because you're not entitled. Hey, listen to what they're doing. They're here for you. You've got to be there for them. And it's not. I'm not fucking brown nosing it. I'm not trying to get.
Oh no, they really are there for them.
No, they respect that.
They really truly are there for them.
Yeah, I'm there loyal to go. Hey, upon my fighting career, I still want to help these younger fighters.
Please ask me questions.
I want to help this company do anything we can do to raise the bar. Because the standard, you got to set the bar, and we ain't fucking lowering it for nobody.
Now you come into this fight, like we're saying, and I believe from what I saw, it's not on the website yet, but I believe from what my intel has let me know that you will be hopefully the co-main for this event. So, how do you feel about going? Well, I guess you can't say across the pond because you're not going across the pond, but up north to the freezing cold to Canada to represent the USA. Up in Canada for the first ever BKFC event.
Man, I'm honored, dude. It really is, because one of my dreams was to fight out of the States. I've told Nate and them, like, look, Thailand, the UK, Japan, I don't care. One of the things is to take that and to fight these guys in these other countries. I think that's a big honor that you have to fight outside the state, and it's whatever. Hey, USA versus Canada, whatever you want to look at, but you carry that on to dictate, like, hey, it's really a dream setting for, I believe, any fighter to fight outside of the country.
That, but then to also, I mean, like you said, it's not really about that, but I mean, it is like to actually represent your country, you know what I mean, and feel like it's, kind of like a Rocky Drago moment. If he dies, he dies. So
and to me, and it's just, man, it's almost like a dream come true. It's like, man, how do I feel about it, dude? I feel very pumped. I'm very excited. I'm honored. And like I said, even to the Canadian, Sonny Smith and them, like, hey man, I'm very, very grateful for this opportunity of being able to, hey, represent the USA, bring that over there, and still to grow and it's a different. It's still, there's different fighters. The guys from the USA, the guys from this, hey, Tyranny, them guys over there, they're different. These guys are different from other countries, and to be able to represent that, it's a huge. It's really it's bigger than the fight. It really is.
I agree. It is bigger than the fight, especially when we get these opportunities. And it also shows the exponential growth that BKFC has had and just the countries that we're going to be tackling alone this year. And as the company grows, the opportunities for international fights for all of our fighters is going to continue to grow, because the idea is to bring these US fighters to all different corners in the world and pair them up against all the counterparts of that specific country of what we're going to. That's what people truly want to see. That's why I think that business plan always works, because there's a lot of fight promotions out there. And as you know, Jeremiah, there's a lot of successful fight promotions throughout the world, throughout Asia, throughout Europe, throughout Australia, that are, I guess you could say, they're very popular there, but they don't translate over when they come to the United States, because it's difficult for U.S. fight fans to invest themselves completely in a fighter 100%, or fighters, or a group of fighters that's from a completely different country that they've never been to before.
And it's a test.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
good test. I mean, because here's the deal. You're still, you know, now I'm gonna tell you, it's different when just say, hey, all right, just say California, for instance. You know, I know we're going to California, that's badass. That's different. Just say flying to Mississippi to California. It's very different flying from the States, say across to another country. I mean, now, you know, I'm not. You're never gonna hear no excuse, oh, fucking jet lag, whatever. But it's a challenge. It does weigh on the person doing that, and with that, there's so many variables there that changes. I mean, we're not training to be on a flight for 15 fucking hours after a training camp. And now that's the adaptability. There's going to be a big adaptation for me going, say, from Florida weather going into Canada. I promise you it'll be totally different. But hey, sign me up. You know,
when I checked,
I'm very much for it.
Because as you know, my fighter Gabrielle's fighting in the main event, so I've been checking on the weather and all that, and doing research on the altitude and all of that, and yeah, not only for you, at least she's in Jersey, so it's cold there, but like you said, you're here in Florida in this low altitude. And then going all the way to Canada, plus, the 60 to 70 degree difference. Because, we're catching nice 70, 75 days right now. At night it drops, like tonight will be at 40 something. But shoot, up there, it's it's in the single digits.
It works both ways. I mean, you taking them guys and bringing them down here. I mean, but at the end of the day, it's just you gotta fight. You bring it in there, and it's very humbling. It's very awesome. It's just, man, I got chills thinking about it, just because it's such an opportunity to represent the states, to bring in a total different dynamic, a total different style to another country.
Mm-hmm.
And when you do that, I mean, now the variables, just say you might be up, say the left now it might equal, you're the mat, what I'm saying? It can be a very, very equal thing, even if it's not.
Absolutely. And another thing I think that why people are just so, nuts about you at BKFC is because we don't see you being complacent anytime soon. We don't see that happening with someone like yourself, regardless of what kind of success you have with it. Doesn't matter if you have championships. It doesn't matter if you make good money and everything like that. I don't think that we're going to see complacency from Big Rig anytime soon. No,
man, because like I said, I'm in it for. It's just there's so much more. There's so much more than that. Being a champ, man. To me, I'm a champion of life. I don't have to really have that. I mean, even though hey, I'm what I'm gunning for, but that don't seal my complacement of what I am and what I'm bringing and what I want to dictate to to solidify my legacy in combat sports. That's what I'm doing, and you set the example for others to follow. So somebody setting that example, you don't ever know what you're going to build from somebody else.
Well, the funny thing is that from the point of view that I look at that from is like the most fucked up point of view from somebody, especially the way that it came across. But Vince McMahon once said this in a promo when he was cutting on Shawn Michaels for forcing him retirement. And just, I'll never forget his face, but I love what he said, even though he said it in the most fucked up way. He's like, I've got an insatiable appetite for life, and I want more. And I'm like, I agree with that. It's just the most fucked up way to put it across to people. But I agree with that as well. Having an insatiable appetite for life and what happens in it is, I think that right there is a key to overall success as more is that you do want more. I mean, you know, what kind of more you get may not be the more that you want, but it's still coming your way.
Well, it's my journey, man.
And the journey, once again, is to cut out.
And the journey is to go into mankind.
Is Taker here? Because the lights went out.
The Undertaker. That's what I was saying. It's the Undertaker. That's what I had to pull out the mankind.
All right, Jay Riggs, come on back, man. We're not done with your ass. I hope it's there he is.
There he is.
No, it's my journey, man, and that to me is a part. You know, it's not you know this. It's not the destination; it's the journey. And for me, that's the journey. That's my mindset. You know, there is no. You get complacent, you get your ass whooped. There's no complacent about me. You know, it's about it's more than the money. You know, it's not about the money. It's about solidifying who Jeremiah Big Rig Riggs is. It's solidifying the loyalty that I have to my skill, my art of war, my craft. Like I said, I don't have to have a gold buckle or a gold belt to for someone to know that's who I am. And if it when it comes, and if it comes, hey, it'll be there. And if it don't, I promise you, I'm going to leave a legacy pinpointed to the point of where, you know, I'm going to set the example of the mindset and the things that we're talking about for the sport, for the human nature, for everything that solidifies Jeremiah Riggs.
Oh, man, what else? What else could we possibly have? Tony, you know, I'm going to tell you what, man, this has just been too much fun on our end. But Jeremiah, I think that we're going to go ahead and let you get back to it. But before we let you go, and thank you so much for joining us here today. As always, we give every guest that we have an opportunity to go ahead and say thank you to anyone that they want, their sponsors, their friends, their family, anybody who's been on this journey with you. We give you a second to go ahead and say those thank yous.
First of all, I would like to thank the man upstairs. You know, without him, there's nothing impossible. You know, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil. You know, that's a big part. You know, I wage anybody to find that enlightenment in their life. You know, that's a big thing for me. Of no matter what it is, I think Jack Wink, all these guys. You know, the signing of my new management team, they've been great. I think Mr. Live Worldwide, I think DJ, for y'all, the opportunities given to me, David Feldman, Nate Shook, Bkfc, everybody, the whole staff. There's so many names that I could name. All my sponsors, my community, Vicksburg, Mississippi, my mom and my dad, my wife, Ashley Riggs, my kids, Adeline Anderson and Jace. These are the things that I strive to be a better person and a better man, a better competitor, just a better enlightenment of life, and bringing in the light that I shine on others, being selfless, to be selfish in myself. You know, if you can't help yourself, you're not helping nobody. I'm always arms open, and I'm very grateful for the life I live, and for everybody watching, the fans. I appreciate it so much. I just, man, I'm here to do what I need to do, and be that bigger person, set the example, to raise the bar, and we're not lowering the standards for nobody. Rangers lead the way, all the way.
There you go.
I love it.
One last thing I need to know right before you leave, buddy. Your prediction of the fight.
I think it's going to be a banger. You know, I don't really make much predictions. It's kind of knowing the unknown. You know, I've watched a little bit with Sonny, but I really believe I mean, this could go all 5 rounds. I've watched this guy fight a little bit. Everybody wants a knockout. I'm not going to predict anything, but I'm going in there with the full ability to end this from round 1 to round 5. My fighter IQ, as everybody knows, is up there strategically. But man, I'm just looking for a hell of a return, and at the end of the day, to have my hand raised. I'm bringing it. I'm gonna represent the USA to my fullest ability, and I much respect to Canada, and I'm coming in this with the mindset of just soaking it in, man. Living the dream. Man. So I predict this is gonna be a fight of the night fight, no doubt.
Love it. Love it. Well, I'm going to tell you, man, this is probably, and I'm going to be honest, I don't know if I speak for DJ Tony, but this has been one of the best interviews that
I
we have
think
had.
this is definitely the best one we've had.
I do got to make a shout out here in Florida
Go
to
ahead.
Killcliff FC and them guys. I'm very honored for them to take me in. Almost doors open. Even Robbie Lawler, he's a very old training partner of mine, coaching here. Alan Belcher, Chase Sermon, all my teammates down at ATT Day Aberville. I'm not leaving anything undone. This is my family. This is my life. These are the people I love and I endure, and they all know if I say I got you back, I promise you I got you back to the end. I'm gonna go out on my shield, win, lose, or draw. But like I said, I ain't never lost anything.
There he is. You will see him right there, March 2nd, Edmonton, Canada, at the River Cree Casino.
Wait. I can't fucking
Make
wait.
sure you guys tune in March 1st to the weigh-ins. You will catch him there. I unfortunately will not be there, but you will see Mr. Live will be there, right? Mr. Live Worldwide.
We changed the dynamics of that. So the weigh-ins are a little bit different, actually. We do face-offs now. We do what's called final face-offs. But
okay.
But if you are the co-main event, then you're going to get that face-off and that question opportunity out there. So they've changed the dynamics on that with the BKFC Prospect Series. You're still going to get your shine on. Come say hi to Big Rig out there. The information on that is still coming up. But seriously, Jeremiah, you're my boy. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, guys. The opportunities it's always blessed.
Just so you know, make sure you get with Kevin, because like I said, I won't be there. So make sure you get with Kevin and give him.
Talking about the sexiest man in the business.
Oh yeah, you know it. The way his hair pokes
big
out.
Shout out.
Woo!
Yeah, big shout out to Kevin Smith, man.
Yeah, it's my bro. Bro for life.
He's just great human, man, and a lot of love there too.
Make sure you give him your music. That's what I was trying to get at, because the Prospect Series, you don't get to choose your own music. Unfortunately, you have to go off these 2 different websites, royalty-free music. So make sure you get with him so that he can get your music right.
Hey man, as far as I can as far as I'm concerned, drop the fucking track, brother, because I'm fucking drop somebody's ass.
All right, brother. I'll be watching
Thanks,
live.
guys.
I'll watch it and catch you guys fighting. Be safe, man.
Thank you, guys. Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate you.
Always. Yeah, I think that the overall consensus is that was our best interview yet on Bones to Domes, man. He's such a dynamic personality. He's so humble, but more importantly, he's ready. He is ready to fight. He is ready to represent the brand. He loves the brand. He's willing to do what it takes to be a part of the show, whether he's in the ring or outside of the ring. You got to respect the absolute fuck out of that, man. You have to.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, sorry. My daughter was texting me goodnight. I don't know what she's doing up still, but whatever. What? I think she had to turn in her project tomorrow, so I think she was probably working on the last little bit of it. But
absolutely good stuff. But let's go ahead and let's
thank you, Kevin. Thank you, sir, Kevin, and thank you for setting that up and getting
much appreciated
on. And everything that you do for the company, bro. And with Kevin being on there, let's go ahead and bring this flyer up for you guys that don't know, which I'm sure all of our diehard fans do know. But this Saturday, February 24th, make sure you catch the BKFC crew. Mr. Lytle, Chris Lytle himself, will be hosting the BKFC Tampa Bay tryouts live at Jackson Wink Smith Brothers Gym. Make sure you go to bkfc.com/tryouts to try out if you have not yet.
Now I know you'll be there.
I will be there for probably the first hour, or probably the first hour, and then I have to leave to go DJ, unfortunately. But yeah, I'll be there with Street Nat Matt, Mr. G Nat. We're gonna pop out there. I know a lot of BKFC fighters. I know JR Ridge said he was gonna be there. I believe a lot of who was it? I believe Crystal Pittman, Jared Warren, and everybody from that team is going to be there.
I wish I were there, man. I'm no longer a Floridian, and I wish I were there because that looks like it's going to be a good time.
Oh, and it'll be also co-hosted by Action J Jackson. So that's I got you. Look, this is the second time we did this today, Kevin. Second time. Me and I'm gonna say jinx. I just jinxed your ass this time, bro.
Your ass a coat.
This is the second time. Yep, there we go. Look, we got the champ coming through of the 175, Dave Mundell. So that's beast.
Look
you know
at
what,
that.
Kevin?
Awesome.
If you don't mind, Jeff, Kevin, if you got a couple minutes, if you want to jump on and let everybody know about what we got going on.
Really?
Jeff's like, oh, we're trying to get out of here in the next 5 minutes. He said, really? Yeah, Shift MMA in full force. I was gonna give Kevin 5 minutes, man. It's
right. 5 long minutes. Yeah.
He probably won't even answer. So did he answer? He didn't even answer. So if I don't get a text in the next. Oh, you see now you got him mad. You see?
Well, I was ripping on him, so I did have that coming. You crazy Canuck.
Yeah, but so like they were saying, we got we got that this Saturday. The address is let's pull that back up real quick. Is 110335 State Road 52, Hudson, Florida. I was gonna say Virginia. Registration's at 11 a.m. and tryouts start at 12. So if you have not, make sure you go to BKFC/tryouts and put that in, and our good old matchmaker, Mr. Shook, will look over your application and send you the okay or denial.
Well, and a lot of these, and as you know, Tony, a lot of these tryouts, most of the tryouts are actually, put on the BKFC app, and they give people an opportunity. It gives the fighters an opportunity to really look at themselves, where if they make it, they know what they have to improve on. But even if they don't make it, they know what they can improve on. And there's going to be such a panel of experts that are going to be there for this one, because like I said before, the demographics for this tryout and who's going to be there, BKFC, straight up BKFC alumni is going to be.
And I don't really like to use that word, legends or whatnot, but this is all of our top talent. We'll definitely be in the building. Who knows? We might even see Martin Brown showing up to the tryouts. I know who else said. I believe Brandon Allen said he might be going through. So yeah, it's gonna be a lot of. You got Chachi Versace that fights out of that gym. Brandon Gold is one of the managers over there, so he's been working hard. Oh, let's bring in the sexy old man. Mr. Houston's favorite.
Hi, Jeff. I love you.
If it's not Guy Ferrari, everyone.
What's going on, boys?
I wouldn't have such a problem with this motherfucker if he didn't leave my goddamn nipples alone.
Every time. It's always in the bar atmosphere. You're gonna get it pinched at least twice.
They're just so
Fuck
delicious.
that noise, man. Next time you do that, man, you get the swirly. You're
How you doing, guys? Hey, listen, that was Jeremiah's a great, but that was on point, man. That was Jeremiah is just an interesting guy all the way around. But what he was saying about the entitlement was just so important, man. That we hear it every day that I deserve this and I deserve that, and it's like earn it. Show people that you're worth it, and take this advantage of this platform of BKFC to get your name out there. And I remember we talked about this how many times. Lorenzo Hunt coming to the tryouts and not having a great MMA record, and the guy has turned into be a worldwide phenom. I mean, he really is.
Our pound for pound. He's our pound for pound.
Yeah, but it's not just the fights. He's taking advantage. I think he can't come to the tryouts on Saturday because he's doing a NASCAR. I mean, he's just built his name up, and he's done a phenomenal job with no entitlement. Just I'll fight anybody, anytime.
Well, you remember what I was telling you. You remember what I was telling you, Kevin? I was talking about, and I had said this many times before. The true superstars that are going to be here with the BKFC are the ones who not only get the great opportunities within the BKFC, but also those who get these kind of opportunities, like he's getting outside AEW, NASCAR, all these appearances that he's putting in all over, walking around with the belts, being himself. That's what really truly builds the superstars, getting himself in the public's eye, not only with BKFC but out there.
Yeah, I mean, there's people that are argue on and want to fight him and say that he's not the best and this and that. And he's got an attitude, but I'm talking about what this platform. 4 years ago, him hopping on board and fighting Reggie Pena, and almost lose that fight, but just keep pressing and taking advantage of every situation and saying, I'm going to do this. And I went, oh man, he's going to do this, and something's going to happen. And next thing you know, it's the tomato, or it's the belt getting smashed, or it's the getting hit by Hector. It's he did it. So just listening to that in the interview and listening to you guys, it was a phenomenal interview tonight.
Or even him in Richmond, like going off the stage and just everything. It's just in Hollywood, me and him. It was a bunch of us actually, but I talked to the DJ, Fat Joe's DJ. The next thing you know, he's up on stage with Fat Joe, like, and giving Fat Joe his belt, and Fat Joe's got his belt on his shoulder. And like, what I mean? It's
over like mad too.
Yeah. It's, but no, listen, I'm sorry you can't be here, Jeff, for Saturday. Tony, I don't care if it's an hour, man. We want to see you there.
Yeah, I'll be there for the first hour.
Sure. The turnout from our BKFC stars is going to be fantastic. There's going to be so much for these young and up and comers to experience. Hearing from Chris Lido, hearing from guys like J.R. Ridge and Mundell and the team at Shift, and hearing what it took for them to get where they are. Besides going through the process and the interviews and the video, you take so much out of it. And I can't tell you how, like for me personally, on how many guys I've seen go to the tryouts, not thinking they've got a chance in hell. And next thing you know is they're going, I can't believe I'm fighting for BKFC. All from the tryouts a month prior, 2 months prior. And that's the way it is. That if you want to fight for Bare Knuckle Fight Championship, go to the tryouts. I don't care if you're a pro, that you've been doing it for 10 years. I don't care. Look at how many UFC guys have showed up to the tryouts. Chop Corley, WBO and
WB,
WBC, WBO. Guys like that show up, and next thing you know is they're fighting. Guys that have minimal fights and want to make their pro debut are fighting for BKFC.
Look at the panel that they have. I mean, honestly, you can go ahead and you can go the route sending an application in through the website and all that good stuff, but you're going to get that opportunity to show at least a minimal effort, I mean, even though that they're not giving a minimal effort, but they're going to see what you've got in front of that all important panel. And as you know, Kevin, that information is also used as content on the BKFC app as content filler. So it really is the best platform. If you truly want to fight, if you want to represent BKFC, it's the best way to get your foot in the door.
Absolutely. And it's a fun experience, like I said. Being able to be around. I remember when I first met Chris Lido down in Cancun for BKFC 4, I think it was.
4, yeah.
4. I fanboyed out a little bit. I was starstruck. There's Chris Lido. There's this guy that's just a Hall of Famer, and being able to chat with him. That's what these fighters get to do. They get to pick the brain, and I'm not just saying Chris. Guys like Jay Jackson. Jay Jackson has been around the world. He's traveled all over the world. He's fought at every level.
Thailand,
He
everywhere.
fights everybody. And what he puts into his training, his diet, and his mental state, so many fighters could learn so much out like that. We've got amateur guys that have already been through the prospect series. Chachi Versace and Brandon Gold, who have both gone through it. And Chachi's going to be pushing to make a debut in April or May, and all from the tryouts. So I can't say enough. So please pump it up, post it. Everyone that's listening, share it as much as you can. I think we're probably people on for the tryouts. Good turnout.
Yeah, you had Jerry Jackson come out of the Plant City, Florida tryouts.
Yep.
I mean, and even the main event for Canada, you had Gabrielle Roman come out of the New York tryouts.
Yep.
I mean, just so like Kevin said, and you can start at the bottom, and then the next thing you know, within a year, you're main eventing a show. So
Devin Gibson, unfortunately, was an illness went to the in New York. The people came to those tryouts again. These are all the guys stars now and are doing really well. All went through the tryouts. So again, if you're listening, please pass it around. Way to get into BKFC. Way to get in.
There it is again, right there, guys. BKFC tryouts, Tampa Bay, Saturday. This Saturday, February 24th, live at Jackson Wing Smith Brothers Gym in Hudson, Florida. Make sure you reach out to the sexiest, oldest man right here, Kevin Smith, or make sure you reach out to Nate Shook, and he will send you the registration, or to the registration, basically www.bkfc.com/tryouts.
That's the quickest way. Go to that link. If for some reason you can't link to work or you can't sign up, we'll be doing registration from 11 till 12. Show up early. Make sure you get registered. We'll get you in regard. And but thanks, guys. I appreciate you bringing it on. Phenomenal turnout here. So we can get some more down in the Tampa Bay area. This type of stuff does it. So
I just need to know how you've only been here a couple shows before me, and you got a whole pool back there. How did that happen?
Oh yeah, you like that? You like my pool back there? We got the house in December. It's been too cold every day. The kids hopped in one day and took advantage of one nice day of summer. But no, this is this house is all from like hooking and doing
hooking,
hands for my feet,
and that other fireman job you had.
But
cheers, all right, brother. Yep.
All right.
Catch you Saturday.
Right. I'll see you in Canada, and EGLC probably.
All right, brother. Be safe.
Okay, cheers. See you.
Yeah, I'm gonna be missing you guys up there over there on the tryouts, but Tampa's not going to be too far away from us and Mr. Live Worldwide, because we've got April 12th in Canada. We released some new dates in Tampa. I'm in Tampa. I'm excited about that. Coming back to Tampa, we got a BKFC fight night. Fucking
Gary Grant, the inventor of the BKFC ring. Let's just give a big shout out to Gary Grant real quick, everybody. He is the man who put the ring together, who is the scientist, if you want to say, the Bill Nye of the rings. He's the one who built the ring.
He's Bill Nye the ring guy. Yes.
There you go. Bill Nye the ring guy. Triple G. It's like no. So shout out to Gary. Congratulations, man. That the ring was a big success.
Yeah, I dug it. I dug it. I see the talent that you have in that, and yeah, absolutely. And it looked great.
I feel the same way, Howie. Oh my bad, I didn't mean to cut you off, Jeff.
No, but I agree. I agree with Howie.
The Ring Master. That's his nickname, Gary the Ring Master Grant.
All right. He deals.
I'm mad I wasn't there because I haven't seen you in so long, big dog.
Yeah. I mean, you'll see him like maybe twice a year or something like that, at least.
I was supposed to come. I had a ride and everything, but then I got offered literally 3 different events to DJ while I would have been gone. So I decided to stay and DJ instead. But I watched the whole entire event with my daughters, so at least I watched.
No, it was a great event. Before we close it out here tonight, I definitely want to do a little bit of a recap about Bkfc Prospect Series in Manassas. Very, very surprising event. With these smaller events and knowing that you got the 16-foot ring debuting, you're not 100% sure on how everything is going to play out. And I'm going to be honest with you, it was one of the more memorable nights that I've had in a long time with Bkfc. And Bkfc is notorious for creating a shit ton of memorable nights. They always do. They always do. There's never a completely lackluster. The almost 6 years that I've been with this, it's day fucking one. I've never had a completely lackluster card since I have been here. Not one. And this one, man, we had some good stuff. We did have Brandon Shavers going over Stanislav Grosu. I know, and that was a surprise to a lot of us. Stanislav getting the knockdown early in the fight and definitely getting the momentum. But Brandon Shavers looking adversity right in the eye. And, we were in Manassas, so we were in Stanislav's backyard. Sterling in but a stone throw away from Manassas. So he had a lot of people there seeing him fight. And just what happened is that Brandon was able to shift the momentum of the fight. He was able to shift the momentum of the fight. And, he got those really, really sharp punches in there. And, those are the ones that hurt you. Those are the ones that put you down. And unfortunately, it was the one that put Stanislav down. And I do believe that Brandon Shavers is now 2-1 with Bkfc moving forward. But the best thing about Stanislav is that, win, lose, or draw, he always goes out there and gives 110%. And I've said this so many times with so many talented fighters. I pity his next opponent.
Yeah.
I pity his next opponent, Tony.
I want to say, and obviously we had him on last week, and I appreciate him, jumping on literally 15 minutes before the show just to help us out. But I feel like he went into this fight maybe just a little bit too confident, and obviously you're supposed to be confident. You think you're gonna, or you're supposed to know you're gonna win and all that. But I think he just went in a little too confident. Knowing he was going to have his family, his whole crowd behind him, and everything like that, and that got to it because on this show, and I wasn't going to say anything because I do like him a lot, but even on this show, he was he talked down on Brandon about if he gets knocked down, he's not going to have the heart to get up, and then it happened to him. And I talked to him about this already, so I'm good. It's good to talk about it. But just joking, I was like, dang,
I don't think it was the heart. I don't think it was the heart, though, man. I just think it's easy for a fighter to say that someone doesn't have the heart to get up. Sometimes you just hurt so fucking bad. Sometimes you're just hurt so fucking bad that your equilibrium is off, that your train of thought is off, that you have no idea. It really was. And I think that that's what it was. It had nothing to do with heart. It had nothing to do with heart. Sometimes you're just hurt too fucking bad that 10 seconds isn't enough. 10 seconds isn't enough.
I've seen, if you watch the slow-mo video, or even, when he gets knocked down and the blood's just running down his face, him looking over at Senior. Yeah. Looked over at Senior, and he just kind of had that look like, sorry, man, like this is not going to be the night.
He was, and I know that he was embarrassed because it's never
especially in your hometown
when that happens in your hometown. But look how many fighters have been shut down in their hometown with Bkfc. That's another thing that one punch can change the whole flow of the fight. If you allow someone to get distance who didn't have distance at the beginning, that distance can make the difference of the fight. And unfortunately, it did that. So second one, I don't know if this was an upset, but it was surprising with Cameron Van Camp getting a very impressive victory over Micah Terrell. And Micah's another one of those guys who just has a ridiculous combined combat sports record. You know, I mean, you know, what he's done. I mean, you know, as far as boxing and MMA, 29 MMA fights going into this guy. And he looked very, very confident coming into the fight, you know, very, very low spoken, but just, you could see the confidence on there. But he also learned something, you know, he learned that, you know, Cameron coming into this, Cameron getting the win, and who is now 1-1 with BKFC. I think he learned a lot in that fight. I think, honestly, we're going to see Micah again, and Micah's going to be a different fighter going into his next fight.
Yeah, it was just one of those, I guess you could say, just one of those clean shots, like you said, that changed everything, because he definitely, I felt, had the momentum going the first, was it the first round or two? Was it the third round when it finally stopped, I believe, correct? Or
no, it was 25 seconds into round 2.
Okay, so but definitely that first round, I felt like, you know, he was getting the best of him, and then, like you said, just one punch can definitely turn around everything. But just having that heart, keep going, yeah, just like Jackson Wink here, you know, he's a quiet killer, and got that W.
Got that W, and you know who got our W, which we're so happy for. I mean, it may have been a doctor stoppage, but a W is a W, and that's our boy, Shark Attack, Zach Kalmus. Zach getting the victory over Josh Freeman. You know, Josh Freeman coming out there and really putting on the pressure, in that fight. But you know, Zach is one of those guys that you got to kill him to beat him. You got to kill him to beat him, and you got to find a way to hurt him. Finding a way to hurt him is tough. You know, it's tough to hurt this guy. You can hit on him all day, and he'll give you that toothless grin and everything like that. Smile at you. You know, all I want for Christmas is my 2 front teeth. Look, he won't give 2 shits about it. But he got the W. That's got to do remarkable, you know, things for his confidence moving forward. And always a fan favorite, always a crowd favorite. He comes out there to entertain, and he comes out there, and boy, I'm gonna tell you, their pace in that first round. Whew, man, they were moving.
Man, going back and forth, throwing hammers, a lot of nice,
Definitely.
clean body shots. You don't see that a lot from the heavyweights. You know, they'll do that later on in the fight, once they start tiring out, which they start doing. But even from the beginning, they were clean body shots, clean. Man, that was a great fight. Did they say give out the awards yet, or not the awards, but of the fight of the night or anything yet?
No, I don't believe that they have. Not as yet.
I didn't see that, but I believe that should be the fight of the night, that or the main event. But that definitely, I feel, and just getting into his head, got into his head so much where he was like, all right, even his corner is telling him no, or his opponent, no, go back out there, leaving him up there. I don't. That's something else I wanted to bring up. But kind of leaving him up there and making him go back out there, and himself, or I guess forcing him to quit himself, and quit in the corner with, I would assume it was a broken hand or wrist or something.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Yeah, unfortunately.
And right before that, you see Zach Kalmus just laughing off his best shots and got him and playing to the crowd and so that could have played into his head, like, man, there's no way I'm putting this guy away. But I'd like to see, obviously Zach Kalmus, we've been waiting to see him for a long time to come back, but I'd like to see, his opponent back soon too. It was a great fight.
I'd like to see Josh Freeman again. I would like to see Josh Freeman fight again. I would. I hope that this is not a one and done for him. I certainly hope that I talked to him afterwards. He said that it was not a one and done. But then again, you can change your mind once everything's healed up, and then you've had an opportunity to look, is this the route that I want to be in life? But I certainly hope that he comes back. But I want to talk about a killer. I want to talk about a killer that is, wow. This guy is going to inject himself into the cruiserweight division, and I think he's going to be a problem. I think he's going to be, and I'm talking about Murat Kilimitov.
Yeah.
I think this guy is going to be a massive problem because I was just getting onto that. Man, this guy is going to be a problem at 205 because his resolve that we saw in there, his laser focus, and boy,
Power.
guy hits hard. This guy
Yeah.
hits. I guarantee you he's getting a contract. I guarantee you, Dave. I'm sure Dave saw just star status in him. Said, now this is an enforcer in the 205 division, which I truly believe he will be.
And that's what's so good about these, like you said, about these prospect series, being able to see some of these fighters that maybe
diamond in the rough.
Maybe would have not have gotten a chance because we're trying to keep our feed our well known or should I say homegrown fighters. So maybe some of these fighters would have fell through the cracks, but because we have these prospect series and amateur series, we get to see these fighters and give them a chance. So yeah, I loved it. It was a great fight. He's going to be on his way. I see. He could easily be fighting one of our top 5 fighters coming up soon.
Yeah, wrong area, Howie. He'll be keep him away from Kadyrov. No, the wrong area on that one. Next up, another undefeated fighter remains undefeated in a bloody battle, in a bloody 3-round battle. I'm talking about James Get Down Brown going up against Bovar Khanakov, and man, oh man, that just got nasty. That just got bloody. And James had to kind of change plans a couple of times.
Yep.
Because during the fight, because Bovar brings it. Bovar definitely brings it. However, if there's something that I would recommend to Bovar, and this is just me recommending it so that his fight career can prosper, I would definitely go to a dermatologist or something like that, and I would work on that scar tissue. I would, unfortunately, we have seen Bovar is a bleeder. Yeah. And there's got to be some kind of scar tissue that is really opening him up. I believe Doc Muzzy said he had 4 cuts on his face.
Yeah, that's what I've seen. Well, that's what I've seen from TV, but yeah, it was definitely cut up. I mean, it was, oh man, what a great fight. I mean,
it was
just like you said. And I seen the same thing that you were saying. I mean, I've seen James definitely at least 3 times in those 3 rounds having to switch up his style.
He did. He had to.
You've seen him just walk through his opponents, so it was a little bit different. But just to see him overcome and win, I mean, it's a great fight, man. I loved it. He definitely. Let's see here. I'm looking at the stats. Threw double the amount of punches that Bovar did, and landed more as well. So that's crazy.
Good.
Well, I would assume you're gonna land more. I mean, he'll land more, but yeah, still. Bovar only threw a total of 67 punches compared to James's 131, and landed 37 of those, with James landing 52. So. Great fight, great technique. I mean, definitely going to see both of these guys back. I mean, Bovar had all of his fights have been exciting, so he's going to be back. All 4 of them.
Another one that we can't wait to see back. I mean, because you got to remember, he gave us, in my opinion, the best rematch in BKFC history. I still say his rematch against Freddie Masabo. His rematch against Freddie Masabo is the best rematch BKFC has ever seen. That was a war of attrition. It was just fucking amazing. So that kind of fighter, this is just something. It's not even going back to the drawing board, because how many times have we said that you can prepare a fighter for a bare knuckle fight and it doesn't turn out that way? You can prepare him until you're blue in the fucking face and ready to go. But that doesn't mean that he's going to be ready. I mean, anything can happen. So we're getting to that, Howie. Give us a second. We're going down the list. Next up, a fight that actually had a first-time occurrence in the squared circle, and it was Joe Ray knocking Ryan Shao out of the ring. He actually hit him so hard, and I do believe one of the knockdowns was a head clip on the bottom rope. But the good thing about the BKFC ring now is that we have breakaway ropes. So you're not falling full force on a unforgivable rope anymore. So it is a breakaway rope. So it will give with the body weight as it goes on there. So it looks worse than it actually is. But that one punch, and he just rolled right out of the ring. First time that we've ever seen anything like that happen. And, you know, it was a shame because that was actually Paul. I'm sorry, I said Ryan. He likes to be called Paul. That was Paul Shao's 31st birthday.
Dang. Actually, your lap he ended on?
Yeah. Yeah, for that to happen on your birthday, God. But you know something? In the end, he's another guy that's very similar to Jeremiah Riggs. He's happy to be there. He's happy to support the brand, and I doubt that is the last that we will see of Mr. Paul Shao. I really do.
Definitely not. I mean, he's had 3 good fights, so we'll see that. Especially that first fight that he had against Josh Sanchez. I remember that one. In Tampa.
He showed us a lot in his first fight. He showed us something here. It's just, the one thing I think he needs to do is he needs to find a way to not be overwhelmed. Sometimes, unfortunately, that's something that you just can't teach. Some people can weather the storm. Some people can't. So maybe he needs to work on that. If that were my only criticism, is possibly work on that. Outside of that, I have nothing but good things to say about the guy. Next one. Another potential BKFC return, and we're talking about Sean Brooks going up against the veteran Jordan Christensen.
Yep.
Sean Brooks looking very impressive. Very impressive. However, Jordan looked good in this fight. Jordan, you saw improvement in Jordan. And I think that right there, even though that, Sean Brooks in his debut got the got the win, I'm still seeing improvement in Jordan. And I see vast improvement. I mean, you got to remember, this was a guy, unfortunately, was on the end of an embarrassing loss, with the vomit loss that we all remember.
Yeah.
A vomit loss that we all remember. It can happen to the best of us. Trust me, I'd probably be puking out. Probably more. I'd be an embarrassment inside the squared circle. That's why I'm never going to do it. But he has grown leaps and bounds from that fight. And like I said, we did see improvement in this fight against Sean Brooks. But Sean Brooks, another potential signee with BKFC. I could see Sean fighting with us.
Another good fight. I mean, check out these stats. Almost identical. Both threw 56 punches.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan landed 36. Sean landed 34. So only 2 punches in the count.
That went 3 rounds. That's not, man. They did get a little course of booze a little bit because they were only throwing so much. They were feeling each other out a little bit, and sometimes that
18 punches per round. 12 punches landed per round.
See, so a little bit more of the feeling out process in that, but congratulations to Sean Brooks on that victory. Next one up, in my opinion, was fight of the night, and that was Crystal Von Beek stepping up against a very last minute fighter, and I'm as last minute as it gets. Christina Christ came in, and I'm going to tell you, she bloodied up Crystal.
Oh, yeah.
She bloodied up Crystal. That ended up becoming a fantastic fight. That was a fantastic fight. You never know, Tony, what's going to happen with a last-minute replacement. Sometimes that last-minute replacement ends up becoming better than the original match that was booked.
And I believe that it was. And look at this punch that, Jeff, between the two ladies, over 500 punches thrown.
Right.
Crazy.
Dave was so happy during this fight, man. He was standing up. He was loving it, man. Punches and bunches. And Crystal Von Beek definitely has the heart, the look, the determination to be a BKFC fighter. I seriously think that she earned herself a contract with her first fight. I was very impressed.
And then you have to go, like I said, or like you just said, the fight after, sometimes maybe that's why you'll get those boos when you're only like we said, throwing 12 punches. Because the fight right before that, they were averaging 78 punches around. So it's like, you got to get in there. You got to throw. You got to throw.
They did.
And with these ladies, I mean.
And they were smart with their throwing. They were smart with their throwing. They weren't throwing heavy. They weren't throwing heavy the entire time, but they understood the concept of punches and bunches.
Van Wink, 390 punches thrown.
All right, we need to get you a pronunciation. It's Von Vake.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jeffrey. I'm not too good with my punctuations.
Well, then, hey, there's always the college try, ain't there, DJ Tony? Huh?
I'm good, man. I'm good on all that. I'll be like, have you ever remember the 90s movie Camp Nowhere?
Oh, yeah, of course I do.
You catch me at a different camp.
But a much different camp. And then we had what we're now calling the Rivera era.
There you go.
They're starting to call that on. And very interesting thing happened in that fight. It was Nathan Rivera and Dustin Garrett. Dustin Garrett, another last-minute replacement coming into this fight. Nathan, his nickname for as long as he can remember was the Reaper. Now, I'm standing in there. He's introduced in there. He comes in. And one of the first things he comes up to me and he says, Jeff, can you not say the Reaper? Can you not say the Reaper? Just Nathan Rivera will be just fine. Whatever the reasoning behind that, I never ask. They're putting their ass on the line. So whatever they want is fine. Just as long as I don't have to say anything vulgar, anything too vulgar, because, Bruce Buffer just recently was it Jim Miller who's fighting? What was it Jim Miller? And he was saying he wanted to say Jim fucking Miller or something like that. And
I see nothing wrong with that.
No, but Bruce said I can't do that. He said that's unprofessional of me to do that.
Would you?
No, I would not. No, I would not. No, because the thing about it is that if I can't say it like, ladies and gentlemen, someone's getting fucked up tonight. When that becomes socially acceptable for me to say, then I'd probably feel a little bit better about it. But we're not quite there, so no, I actually would refuse. I would refuse. But Nathan coming in there and remaining undefeated. Giving an envelope to Mr. Feldman and Chris Lytle, and in that envelope gave them basically a contract for them to sign him. That was very clever. That was really fucking clever. I mean, I hate to say it, he might have given another blueprint on how to get that done. That was, and they caught Dave on camera with that. I thought, like, that was really fucking clever.
Him opening it.
Nathan's a fighter who uses his head out. He thinks outside of the box. I totally dig that.
He's like, here's my contract. You just go ahead and sign right here, and I'm your fighter.
That was fucking awesome. I love
Walks
that.
over and says, you ready to make some money together? I love it.
And that's exactly, hey, if there's any one phrase that you want to say to a fight promoter, man, that's the one. That's the one. You know how Vince McMahon was like, he didn't care. I don't care. Just draw me money. Just draw me money. Just draw me money.
Like Mr. Krabs.
Yeah. And our main event, Kerry Caprio stepping up also last minute. Michael Livingston, Cap versus the World, getting the KO round number 2, actually at the conclusion of round number 2, getting the KO on that. So Kerry Caprio coming back for us. I always like it when he comes up, another fighter up and coming. What's funny about the prospect series is that, we have the BKFC fighters that are kind of peppered throughout that. Not everybody knows that specific fighters are not out there for the contracts. They're out there to help us really sell the prospect series and add what you would call veteran filler, and really make those cards legitimate, putting them on there. I agree, Howie. Caprio was great. Caprio was great in that opening fight. He really was.
Opening the fight, opening the night perfectly for the maybe any investors or anybody that was there as well. Always a good look. And I love that we're having these shows, these prospect series now, free for everyone to be able to watch. So it's on the app for free. It's on the just download the app. It's on there for free. It's on YouTube, Fubo TV.
Amazon Prime, Samsung,
Samsung.
LG, all over. Roku. It's on Roku. It's on Roku as well.
Yep, that's how I was watching half of it, and then I switched to I did the same thing that I did for the Albuquerque. I switched over to the YouTube. YouTube was running a little couple 5 seconds faster than TiVo or Fubo.
A little less of a lag. Unfortunately, on streaming services, one service is going to have a little bit of a lag over another. It's just the way of the world until it gets perfected. So that's just the way that it is. I mean, the best way, obviously, is on the Bkfc app, but Fubo TV has actually become, they've really gotten in with Bkfc, you know, and they really believe in us. So they've opened another avenue for people to watch it outside of the Bkfc app. But in the end, the Bkfc app is definitely the best way to go ahead and watch it.
Yeah.
All right, Tony, before we wrap it up tonight, why don't you go ahead and put those lovely sponsors up on the screen, and we'll give them their dues.
You know it. We got the one and only Billboard Mats.
Oh, boy, Tommy.
Good old Live 21.
Still waiting for my case.
And today I still haven't put in the picture. Anyways, Zicari Footwear. Zicari Bkfc _ Zicari _ Footwear for all of your sneaker needs. I have a million things going on, Jack. I forgot.
I love them. I love my Air Jordan 1s with the Bkfc custom colors, man. I'm wearing them every single weigh-in, every single face-off, final face-off show that we do. And, you know, I wanted to let everybody who's watching, let them know that the final face-off, that is a format that we are moving forward with as of right now for the Bkfc Prospect Series. Because the Bkfc Prospect Series, you know, they're smaller shows, so they want to try out, you know, smaller avenues as far as bringing it there. Now, they're not live. They're not done live. And I liked it. I liked the idea. Having the fighters come on, do a quick face-off, one question, boom, they move on. I love it. But, you know, I believe for the fight nights and for the numbered shows, we're going to keep everything as is. It's going to be business as usual with the media weigh-ins and the weigh-in shows. I do believe that those are going to stay status quo.
I mean, like you said, I mean, everything with that show, from what I've seen, like I said, I wasn't there, but from what I've seen, went good. And I can't wait. I mean, we got a huge show coming up. Our guest that we had on tonight will be fighting there. I mean, look at this. Hold on, I'm trying to bring it up as fast as I can.
I'm sure you are.
Look at this. It's just loading. Boom! Look at this schedule we got coming up, man. Crazy. 8 events in 9 weeks.
Yeah, that is crazy, man. Bkfc Prospect Series, March 2nd in Edmonton. We're back in Miami. For those of you who actually saw the weigh-ins for Bkfc 57, we're actually going to be hosting it right back to where we had the weigh-in show, and that's going to be at the Vivo Plaza at the Dolphin Mall, Bkfc Fight Night Miami.
Our second ever outside show, from what I'm hearing.
I'm looking forward to it.
Then we go to Bulgaria, March 22nd. Then we head back to the Tingley at Albuquerque, New Mexico for Dodson and I'm gonna mess up his name. Aguero. There you go. March 29th, and I should be able to say that. And then we head into April. We got April 6th, 3 different champions
on that card. 3 title fights. 3 title fights are on that card, you know, and of course our good friend David Round is on Danny Christie for a UK belt, for a UK championship over there. Looking forward to that. Then we are back to Bkfc Fight Night Tampa. Have you heard of a venue for that one as of yet? I have not.
I have not. I know that they're still working on it, but I haven't heard anything. I'm gonna hopefully we do like we did our first ever Thursday night fight and head back to the Hard Rock Tampa. But who knows? It'll probably be back at the fairgrounds, I would assume.
It could be at the Florida State Fairgrounds back there, yeah. And then we're back to Salem, but this time around with the Bkfc Prospect Series on 420, and then 427. We are in the making as we invade the City of Angels with Knuckle Mania 4. And the main event of Knuckle Mania 4 should be announced any day right now. I know that Dave has been teasing us a little bit as far as the main event. I can't wait to see what he's got in mind for the main event of Knuckle Mania 4. I mean, it's just going to be so massive. It's just going to be so awesome. California all day. I could not agree with you more, because what makes this so special is that this was a state that we did not see opening up as quickly as they did. We thought that there was going to be a hell of a lot more pushback and a hell of a lot more resistance from the state of California moving forward. But look what happened. I loved it. We opened it up. We are now 100%. April 27th, Knuckle Mania, which is what I like to call the biggest bare knuckle extravaganza of all time. Kind of borrowed that from Vincent Kennedy McMahon, as he likes to say. But you know something? Vince McMahon borrowed WrestleMania from Beatlemania.
There you go.
So there's been a bunch of manias before WrestleMania. So there is definitely that. But Tony, I am feeling good on this one because this was a fantastic show.
Woo! Say it for me 2 more times. Woo, woo, woo.
You look like you're about to ready to take the fucking field.
Nah, I've had a running nose all day, so I'm just on like 4 different medicines trying to get rid of it so I can DJ.
There's only one that you truly need.
Yeah, that's true, and that is my Live 21.
That's not where
That's
not where I was going.
Oh,
with
and that is my good.
There we go. There we go. Now. Yeah. That's right. It's always 420 somewhere.
That's what
all right, guys. Well,
it's 320, so we're 1 month away.
Oh shit. Oh, we got a show on 420 too in Salem.
Yeah, we do.
You got a show on 420. How about that? All right. That was good. Well, big shout out to our very special guest, Jeremiah Big Rig Riggs, for coming on and being, as of to date, one of the best interviews that we've had. Thank you to everyone. We've had so many people, Tony, that have hung around from moment one to moment done on this show. And for all of you guys who have been watching us consistently, we cannot thank you enough, because we do understand the attention spans of Americans these days. And they normally don't last 2 hours. So those of you who have been hanging out with us, thank you so much.
You know it. And to everyone, have a good night. And we will see you next Tuesday night on Bones to Domes.
Bones to Domes, boy, the intention is not to hurt you, it's to murk you if you go against me in the square circle. Let my hands do the talking, I let you do the verbal. Eat this knuckle sandwich that a Chico about to serve you. Better listen up, the other team been talking tough. DJ Tony grabbed the mic, cause this dude will not shut up. Ain't no standing name count, but I think I've had enough. In the famous words of Jeff Houston, time to knuckle up. Bones to Dome, it's time to knuckle up. Bones to Dome, it's time to knuckle up. Take me up, I've been throwing uppercuts. Bones to Dome podcast, turn me up. It's time to knuckle up. You know it. With DJ Tony, time to knuckle up. Jeff Houston, it's time to knuckle up. I am Vince Serrano.
It's all about you. It's time to knuckle up. It's about how you make yourself different from the rest.
It's time to knuckle up.